What's up, guys? Doofus Mcdooface here with another unit breakdown series unit. Today we're going to be looking at Oathbreaker. Still working on those T1s.
Welcome to Nova.
And pretty prominent opener. And a lot of people will open with the Oathbreaker. Now it's a high RNG unit, one of my favorites, right? Right off the bat, if you're only going to watch 30 seconds of this video, try putting your Oathbreaker right here. If you're just going to open with the Oathbreaker, try, what is that? Column 3, row 5? I don't, whatever. In the third column, 3 over. Yeah, 3, 3, I guess. I don't know where I got 5. I guess 5 from the bottom. But this seems to be the most effective against snails. This seems to be the most effective against snails. I'll even run it. It could leak to a snail, but this seems to be most effective to a snail because it seems like the snail gets sniped very quickly. In order to hold this snail, it needs to die right now. Now. Right? But that is just fine, right? And that leads me right in to one of my great examples of why Oathbreaker Fiesta is so delicious, right? And I think I may have even highlighted that with my rat video, that you would do the Oathbreaker and you would do rats, right? You do Oathbreaker rats and it is just, it's delicious, right? You have the perfect gold, you double hunt, and maybe you Fiesta, maybe you hold. Either way, either you're getting the Mythium and holding, which you don't get the Fiesta gold, or B, you get a Fiesta and you hunted, and it's a perfectly fine Fiesta. Now, it can leak up to 75%, but what Fiesta doesn't leak 75% to a snail, right? That's just part of the game. So I like it, of course, with Fiesta. I like to start off all of this with Fiesta. It is impact fortified. Let's pull up our wave guide. From what I wrote down, I have it strong on 1, 2. 2 is a bit of a because on 2, like, you can't just have the Oathbreaker and a couple of Chain Fists unless you're Fiesta, right? You do need something else with the Oathbreaker on 2 to hold. But it's still decent with the impact damage. 3, I don't think it's very great. 3, 1, because impact fortified is bad on 3, but also I think because it does. Oh yeah, I haven't even told you guys about the thing. Because it does its crazy fast attack, right? As you could see when I did the wave 1, once it reaches 50% life, it attacks 275% faster, but it hits random targets, right? There's probably a world where you're on value wave 3.
Welcome to Nova.
And there's probably a world where you're on value wave 3, right? 285 is fine. So you get triple snailed. You could theoretically leak, right? Just because the randomness of these shots. I kind of want to see it. I've never seen. Don't ever have 3 oath. Oh, okay. I'm stupid. Don't ever have 3 Oathbreakers on wave 3, right? Terrible idea. But if you did, I think it's an even more terrible idea because of the randomness of the shots. And of course, the more creeps you have, the more variability, right? There's more variability of the shots. So let's see what happens here. All right? They're getting started. Good RNG, bad RNG. Right? This should be a full hold. Because right here you have a Smurf breaker. Right? Look at that. Look at that Oathbreaker. It lived barely and just continually attacked forever. Alright? Just continually attacked forever. But as you saw, I sent snails. Snails are the best because the impact in a fortified is not great. You could do a fiend, of course, right? A fiend is going to be the best into this. But by the time you have enough Mythium to send a fiend, it's probably later in the game, and the Oathbreaker is not the most important send, right? It's not the most important unit that you're sending it to. So Oathbreakers early, I like snails. So if you're sending primarily Oathbreakers in the first 4 waves, I'm a snail guy. Or a dino on 4. Right? Dino on 4 because it's not going to be able to kill that dino. Man, I'm just throwing information at you guys. It's pretty good wave 5. Right? It's pretty good wave 5. It's not good wave 4. Not good wave 4 at all. The typing is bad. Wave 6, it's okay. Right? It's not great. 7, it's really bad because once again, just like wave 3, there's way too many creeps and the typing is wrong. Wave 8, it's horrible. Wave 9 is its best wave because, well, wave 9 is the correct typing. And after that, the unit is not very great. Like, maybe you have to spam some chain fists on 11, right? Maybe you've got 80 extra gold on 11 and you're just spamming chain fists. Something like that. But as with most of these T1s, you really only want to use them effectively in the first couple of waves. The later waves are usually just split adjustments, or if you literally have no other fortified tankage, right? You literally have no other fortified tankage, and you have a sovereign, and you know they're coming wave 12. You have no pierce damage. You've really screwed up your roll, right? And you're just going to spam 100 of these dudes in the split and hope that it delays long enough, right? You're just going to hope that this delays long enough to allow your Sov to go off. And that's really the only case you're really going to want to go crazy with them. Because it's going to be well, actually, almost had a Smurf breaker there for a second. But yeah, see, it just gave some delay time. All right, pretty sure I leaked pretty bad here. Oh, real bad. Holy smokes. That's how bad just impact only on wave 12 was. I know, it's terrible. It's terrible, man. I agree. I should not have hunted. Should not have hunted. So yeah, and if that's anything else you learn, don't hunt on your worst waves. Don't hunt on your worst waves. So yeah, I would say snails early, fiends late. What are builds you see this with? Okay. I rarely do this, but if you are not Fiesta and you do not want to leak, you can do the nasty that, right? This is gonna hold the snail every time. Now you can't go 5 workers unless you're cash out, right? If you're a cash out, you can go 5 workers like this. This is still pretty nasty. Some people will do the Oathbreaker Angler. Just like that. Oathbreaker Angler. You're going to hold the snail, right? Honestly, you're not too bad for wave 2 right now. No chance of leaking. You're still able to push pretty hard. It's a pretty decent start. I'm not a big fan of it, right? My go-to with Oathbreaker is, of course, Fiesta. Or I like it as Nightmare Butcher, right? Nightmare Butcher is probably my most used one with it. Got the Nightmare right there on the wall. Wave 1, wave 2, then wave 3 comes. Wave 3 comes. Bam. Lizard Snail. You can leak barely, or you can full hold. There's a lot of RNG on this. Right? A lot of RNG on this. But now you have a unit in front of your Nightmare for the Butcher positioning. Alright? That's what's most important. And you have a fortified unit in front of the Nightmare, which is most of the weaker waves for Nightmare. See? You're gonna hold here, right? You got the good RNG. We hold, perfect. And then of course you just maybe you add the split, right? Maybe you add the split on 4 if you're scared. Go Butcher. That would be another chain fist, right? And then you get some regular Brute Snail on wave 5. And once again, should be some RNG, but probably holding. Alright, you're probably holding because the Nightmare should should not get targeted, right? Because there's unit in front of it. And you might even get this Smurf Breaker, right? Might even get this Smurf Breaker right about now, right? Smurf Breaker with the Vamp. So even if your Nightmare dies, Smurf Breaker is still out there kicking butt. Almost holding, right? So that's when I use Oathbreaker the most. But Oathbreaker, it's not a glorious unit, right? It's not a glorious unit. You'll see it a lot on weekly challenges. You'll see Oathbreaker a lot on weekly challenges because of what you just saw. How there's a world you can get that absolute god split, right? If you can get that absolute god split, oh my goodness. Maybe we can get it on wave 6. Wave 6, you might see the god split like this. What I mean by the god split is you want it sub half health, right? Nah, that's not gonna take nothing. It's not easy to get this. I guess it would have to be deeper waves. Maybe wave 7 then. Maybe wave 7. Just add something like that so we don't leak too bad. Don't ever place down wave 7. I'm just doing this for... Just trying to see if I can get the god Oathbreaker here. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Might get it. But yeah, the Oathbreaker gets under. Right there. Go, 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 go. Game time. Right, here we go. Perfect. Right? The Oathbreaker is under 50%. Not going to die. And it is just attacking very strongly, right? Very strongly. Because it's at its threshold where it starts doing the crazy attacks 275% faster. So a cheap T1 starts going nuts, right? Out of nowhere, just starts going nuts. I think that's really it about Oathbreaker. Check my stats on it. I've probably opened it like 22 times. Minus 10. 22 minus 10. Opened it 12 times. 7 and 5. Actually really bad win rate when I don't start it. Yeah, so when Oathbreaker is your best fortified unit, you're not in a good position, right? And that clearly is apparent, right? That clearly is apparent. Because of course there's so many better fortified tanks. Bunk, Mudman, now Trent, right? There's just so many better options. Harbinger, maybe a little bit better than it, not much. But yeah, Oathbreaker's really an early game unit. Definitely not something you want late. I even had a debate with one of my buddies once. Had a massive wave 19. And I had to hold. I just had to hold. I decided to spam Oathbreakers in the split. Right? He thought I should have done death caps. Now wave 19. Right? Wave 19. Oathbreaker is the correct. It's the correct thing. Plus 20%, right? It's plus 20%. Death caps, however, are not, in my opinion, the correct thing, right? They're only plus 15%, but their damage is better, right? So it's like, do you go for the pure tank value, or do you go for mostly tank value and a little bit of damage value? I think now going forward, yes, I would do the flowers, right? Because the Oathbreaker is just such a cheap T1. It really has no place on wave 19. Unless it's just you have 40 extra gold, right? You have 40 extra gold, bam. Or you're adjusting the split. Other than that, you probably shouldn't be spamming Oathbreakers. Maybe Chain Fists on wave 15. Maybe Chain Fists on wave 15 if that's your cheapest unit. You know, I love my spam on wave 15. But I do believe that's it. Yeah, as I said, there's really no Legion spell you'd ever want to use it on. My buddy Toho once tried Pulverizer. He tried Toho, I'm talking about Toho. Toho tried Pulverizer Oathbreaker on 2 to see if it could hold wave 2 by itself with just Pulverizer. He wasn't able to pull it off. Was not able to pull it off. It got close. He added a Chain Fist, but it's still, even with the pull, it just couldn't quite get it done. But I think that's about it. I mean, we can look at a game, but we gotta look at Boone or Genome. Yeah. Here we go, just a top 5 player starting with it. See, in the correct tile that has the least RNG possibility to snails. And he went cat over there. Did that, right? And just only really started with it. Like, you won't see much Chain Fist or right. See, adjusting the split because that's your cheap T1. Other than that, you're once again adjusting the split on wave 10. And had 20 extra gold, right? Right there. Had 20 extra gold to place. Oh, we do have some Oathbreakers here protecting the Cage of Pain. Couple more Chain Fists because just extra gold, right? That's really all you're using it for. And then you sell them. Right there, you'll see you sell them in order to get the better unit, right? And that's just it. Once again, selling to get the better unit, right? Now Boone did spam them on 19 here. Boone did spam them on 19. I'm surprised didn't try a Shadow Dancer there. Really? Not gonna go for a Dread Knight back here? Not gonna do a Dread Knight? Yeah. See? But as you can see, Oathbreaker was efficient in that game. Can be efficient mostly as a starter and your cheap T1. And I think that's it for Oathbreaker. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Thanks.